Hi, everyone. So, I have a new product for you to go take a look at. This is with Pink Salt Wall. So, they're a source of pure Himalayan salt. I think we all kind of, have our salt lamps and everything, which I do have. But with them, they offer high quality Himalayan pink salt products that can enhance your environment and help with respiratory and skin issues. Their collection includes Himalayan salt bricks, tiles, building blocks, licking salt blocks for your animals. That sounds interesting. Salt lamps and cooking plates, and much more. All their products are shipped directly from their factory in Pakistan and are available locally through their warehouse in Maryland, United States. So, yeah, if you're interested in taking part in that, you can go down to the show notes where you'll see a link to their website through me. So you're supporting them as well as supporting the podcast as well. So if you go to www.pinksaltwall.com/Tanika Thomas, that's all in caps, you can partake in these amazing products and again, support the podcast. Now it's enough of me. Let's head back to the podcast. Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episode once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt ×2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt ×2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. This episode is ad-free on the Patreon. So if you want to partake in that, you can head on over to patreon.com/realityt ×2. Welcome to Reality Tea ×2, a podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing the second episode of Age of Attraction. So before we do, I just want to do a quick announcement. So there will be an episode coming out very soon on the Patreon that I did with Ava for America's Next Top Model. We discussed the Netflix documentary as well as the Dirty Rotten Scandals documentary, kind of adding little tidbits in there to it. So it was a good conversation. Fun episode. So yeah, you can head on over to patreon.com/realityt ×2, and you can get that on any tier that you choose. So That will be coming, but there will be a sneak peek of it as well. About half of the episode you'll be getting access to on the main feed. So that will be dropping, I believe, tomorrow. I think, but either way, it will be coming this week. So you'll be getting that as well. And then if you want to listen to the full length episode, that will be coming only on Patreon. Okay, so I think that's basically it. Oh, and there will be a bonus episode for next take as well. You'll probably be getting that um, more so in April, just to allow to make sure that the full Women's History Month series is available for when I post the episode. So that will be coming soon as well. You'll be getting about 20 minutes of that, of one of the episodes. So yeah, you can look out for that as well. But now let's get into the reason we're here, and that is episode 2 of Age of Attraction. So we left off with John and Teresa, um, in the promise room, finding out their ages here. So this is where she says that she is 54 years old. When he says he's 27, she's like, wow, okay. Because yeah, y'all, we're gonna get into how crazy this is gonna be. She didn't expect that at all. Her youngest is 22 and her daughter is 25. Her eldest child, her son, is 29, so 2 years older than this guy. So there is a 27-year age gap between these two. But, despite that, she's excited to explore this relationship further. She says, if I knew his age before, I probably wouldn't have dated him. And she's like, I started having kids before he was even born. He says her kids are her kids and not my kids. But would they be our kids? Sir? No. No. You are, what, 6 years older than her youngest child? 2 years younger than her oldest one? No, you are a part of the age group. You're a part of their generation. No, no, sir. No, 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 no. Anyways, enough of them. We'll see them, I guess, a little bit later. We are going bike riding. We have Pfeiffer, like Michelle Pfeiffer. She's wanting to explore her connection with a guy named Derek, who I cannot pinpoint if he's young or old. Now, I know he has kids, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. He kind of has like this usher baby face kind of look to him. So it's really hard for me to pinpoint where I think he's at. I've kind of difficult time pinpointing his age, but she likes to travel. He does too. And this is where you find out that he has a 15-year-old son and a 5-year-old, and he's not yet comfortable to tell her about his children, which is, it's not crazy, but anyways. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a 15-year-old. That doesn't mean anything. He could be 30 for all we know. So it's just like, it's just kind of for trying to figure out like where I think he lands in the age group. 'Cause I feel like he's in his 30s, but he could be in his 40s for all we know. I mean, we're gonna get a shocker at the end of this episode, and I'm like, wait, what? So like, I just don't know. Anyways, we have West. He's talking to Jolene, 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 Jolene. Not spelt that way. She spells her name Joleen, not Jolene, but still, it's gonna happen. I'm going to sing her name every time I say it, so we need to get used to it. So she has been married before. She does have children. She's another one that I can't pinpoint her age. Because I think, like, no offense, white people, but I think, like, with, I think with, like, especially with Derek and being a black man and now Jolene being Asian, it's really hard to pinpoint the age. So it's interesting. I can't pinpoint her age at either. We'll see. Then we have Vanelle, and she's with Jorge. They are doing like a forest something. I thought I heard this say bath, but I don't know. Apparently, someone's going to be blindfolded. One will lead while the other follows, just to kind of get the experience of the woods with the other senses. It seriously looks like they have only walked about 5 steps, but according to her, she's like, "Oh, you guided me this far out." Like, I swear you guys only walked like 5 steps. But anyways, she's his only connection. While we know she has two people, she wants to make a decision soon, though. And she thought it was going to be Justin from the very beginning, but is he the right choice? If I'm still conflicted, is what she kind of says. So we're going to see her make a decision in this episode as well. Then we have Andrew and Libby. They're talking. He wants to see Ira more vulnerable, but I think he needs like more serious side to her. But she says she's usually a little bit more guarded in the beginning of relationships to kind of protect herself, which, I get it. And he asks, "Do you want to know how?" Like, sorry, she asks about his kids, and then he asks, "Do you want to know how old they are?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Well, 14 and 12." And she is shook by this, and she literally says, "I'm actually not too far off from the 14-year-old." Yikes! 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 Now we are doing a spa group things. We're going to be seeing a couple of different things here. Jolene is questioning if West is serious about the situation that they are trying to be in. Vanessa ends up stealing Chris from one of the other girls. Her voice is very gravelly when she's talking to men. I find when she talks to women, she doesn't sound like that. It's very weird. But then they kiss a lot. More on that later, by the way. So, yeah, Vanelle, she's now with Justin. And he says, "I would ask her to the promised room today." And I don't know if she feels the same way. Okay. That's how he says he feels about her. I don't know. This is when he is my favorite, and I like him. Not saying I don't like Jorge either, but I like him. And but y'all, this isn't gonna go good for him. She says she's worried that maybe they are not a good choice or a good match for each other. So that's basically the end of that. We don't see him again because I think it was her or nothing. So yeah, I'm sad about that. I like Justin. But now we see Vanessa. She's kind of talking to Chris. She says she's feeling a little icky about the kiss that they had. Ma'am, you not only kissed him, you stole him. And now she's feeling icky about it. And I don't know, maybe she's using the wrong wording here. I think maybe should be saying is that she's like, maybe regretting her decisions to get to that close to him. She says, kissing him like that, it's not who she is. She's like, so if you want to explore other connections, I mean, you can definitely do that. I'd rather she just say, "I'm not into it," because she literally says, "I'm not feeling it. He's not the one for me." Don't tell him you can explore other connections. Just be like, "No, I'm so good." Anyways, more on that later. Well, not them, but separately. We got Libby and Andrew again. They talk about their last conversation, kind of talking about her seriousness and the kids. So she asks him, "How is the relationship with you and the mother of your kids?" He says, "You know what? It's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Good to know they have good co-parenting relationship." Then she gets really weird with her questioning at this point, and she's like, "Will you guys kiss?" What? Because he's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, we did, but like, obviously not now." And she's like, "Well, yeah, of course you did, because like that's how kids are made." Actually, kids aren't made by kissing. Babies are made by other tactics. So what? But the main thing here is that she has made it extremely awkward. You're talking about his children's mother, for whom, yes, he had a relationship with, but he no longer does. And you're talking about them making babies. It's very weird for her to have these commentaries, but it's also a little inappropriate. It was not to lie here, her age showed massively in this conversation because it was just very unnecessary. But anyways, but he says his home base is in Baltimore. Good morning, Baltimore. Kids are there. His business is there. And he just basically asks, like, he doesn't even ask her, like, would you move? He simply asks her, are you okay with long distance? Like, he doesn't have this expectation that she moves right away or even at all. But she says, when I really like someone, I go all in. And she says, I do really like you. So she's going to go all in. So, with that being said, the next day, they're heading into the promise room. Just like that. No transition, no conversation of let's go to the promise room. Nothing. They just like, I guess we're going to the promise room. So my guess, I promise you guys, I am not cheating. I did this before their ages were revealed. His, I guess that his age was 38. Because how I went about it is, okay, he has to be old enough to have a 14-year-old. I don't get the vibe that he's early 30s, but I also didn't get the vibe he was quite in his 40s either. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like he's 38. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be correct or even that accurately correct. We'll get to it. And she, I thought, may have been 23. And I also was not expecting how close I was going to be for her either. But again, kind of similar to him, I was just kind of going off of the fact of this girl is very young. She looks young. She has a very young personality. Um, Sorry, y'all, but the Swifty aspects of things made me think you might be young. So I I just kind of went through all of that and I'm like, I think she's 23. So she says him having kids does not scare her. It makes her like him more and feels like he is serious about, wanting to be in a relationship. They exchange the rings, but now it's time for the best part. What are their ages, y'all? And this is where I wrote, I kid you not, I wrote, y'all, I'm not cheating. So he is 38. And I'm like, I'm good. Like I wasn't expecting me that accurate, but yes, he is 38 years old. And again, I was pretty close with her too. She's 22. And she's only been legal for a year, y'all. Yikes. And he owns a bar. But that's besides the point. She's, yeah. So that means that there is a 16-year age gap between them. And she's 8 years older than his oldest daughter, and his daughter's 14. But they both agree age is nothing but a number. So they're going to figure this out. Do I think they are going to work long term? Um, uh, no, I don't. I don't. I think his children are going to have a problem with her being so close in age to them. And I do wonder if she's still a partier. And I know he owns a bar, but it's his business. And sure, there might be some party aspects to him in order to keep up with his clientele. But I think he is still kind of past that point in life. And I do wonder if she's still stuck in that. And I think he's going to want a woman who is a little bit more, how do I say, just comfortable with not having to party all the time. And I didn't mean to say the lyric of the Eddie Murphy song, but seriously, like I think I do have concerns on whether or not they can work with that. I don't know. So I'm on the fence, I guess. But I'm gonna say I'm on the fence. I'm gonna say maybe. I think that's where I land. I'm gonna say maybe to them. All right, so we'll see them later, I'm assuming. We have Logan and Vanessa. She's moving on to a new guy named Logan, who I haven't heard a thing about before this. They're going for a stroll in the woods. 2 years ago, we find out from her that her mom was diagnosed with cancer. They'd recently lost her, and my condolences to them. But seeing her dad be there for her in her time of need made her realize I'm fucking alone. Yikes. I'm sorry. The whole thought process watching your dad be there for your mother, because again, y'all in sickness and in health, right? And your thought process isn't, oh, I love that my dad is still here for my mom. I love that she has that support. I love that, we're all here for her in this. You know, I hate that I'm seeing her go through this. I wish she wasn't going through. No, none of that. It's I'm going to be alone. Way to make this about you, though. What the hell? Anyways, we have Chris and Leah. Leah's a new factor into this that we haven't seen before. And I can tell this guy is full of shit. He's full of shit. He's literally like, oh, your eyes, they're so pretty. Like, I wanted to know, like, where are you from that makes your eyes so pretty? Where are you from, you exotic you? Like, where you come from? Y'all, she literally is out here just being like, where am I from? So I'm from Bakersfield, California. I guess in Bakersfield you get beautiful, beautiful eyes. Thought that was hilarious. She is into him for reasons that I will never understand. Let's pray that he's ready because she is. And I said, girlfriend, not this one. But anyways, we have Vanell and Jorge. And on the stage, she tells him that she is all in on him now. So basically, she broke up with Justin. He's excited, but he is worried how she will feel about his age. And again, I'm thinking, how back at this beat, like the man is no more than maybe 55. Maybe I think 55 was maybe too much. Y'all, when we get to it, I was not expecting that. Anyways, but then she just throws out there like, I love him for the person that he is. She is trying to back a pedal on the I love him. And I said, girl, you already said it. But she thinks that he is in his 40s, and I would have to agree. I think he was in his 40s as well. Wait for it. So now Vanell and Jorge are headed to the promise room. Now, for my guesses, I'm going to guess that Vanell is 27. Yeah, I swear I am not cheating. And this should prove that I'm not, because I thought Jorge was 48. Okay, so that's what I think my guesses were. And she has some things on her. She got some things on her heart that she wants to talk to him about, that she hopes that he'll be okay with. She feels like she could have found her potential husband in Jorge, but she does tell him, listen, I've done my shit. I don't want to do my shit no more. That's not what she said. But she says that she's been celibate for 2 years, and she has vowed to herself and to God that she will not have sex until she's married. She's been there, she's done that. She doesn't want to do that no more. I think that's pretty admirable, honestly. So what do you think about that? She wants to know. Wants to know if it's going to be a problem for him if, like, you know, you know. He says, well, first, don't be nervous because, like, I'm sensing that you might be nervous. And he says, I will respect that. Like, I'm not going to back off of you now because you want to, you're celibate and you want to remain celibate until you're married. He's like, I'm not afraid of that. Like, I'm a big boy. I'm a grown ass man. Like, nothing to worry about here. The other thing is, she wants to know if he wants to have kids because she wants to have kids. And I think that is very fair question to ask. And he says, yes, he definitely wants to have have more kids, but he's also not willing to have more kids outside of marriage. He doesn't want to have a million baby mamas. You know what I mean? So with that, they exchanged the rings, but now it's time for their ages. So she says, and I swear I am not cheating, she's 27 years old. I'm like, listen, this is too much. Because, I was a little off with John. I was a year off with Teresa, on point with Livy and Andrew, on point with Vanelle. And I'm thinking, listen, I gotta be a little on point with him too, right? There's no way that he's much more than maybe, I would say maybe 7 years older than my guess. Y'all, y'all, he literally says to her, okay, so you're 27. I'm 60. The fuck? First of all, number one, no, you ain't. No, you ain't. Black really, truly don't crack. Because how is this man looking like he's in his 40s, but he's 60? Excuse me. What in the Jesus? What kind of baby spirits have you been sucking out of? What kind of serums do you use? You would rile Kenny. What in the Lord? This man looks fantastic. He looks incredible. How is this happening? That part aside, though, he wants to get involved with a nearly 30-year younger woman, 30 years his junior. Let's not forget, her dad made her promise that she would not marry a man who is more than 10 years older than her. Y'all, we are 20 years over the limit. Ooh, this ain't gonna go good. But that is it, y'all. That is it for this episode. So we'll be back with another one. I don't know what's coming next. We'll be back with another one. Until then, y'all, that is it for me. And that is it for this episode. If you liked what you heard, bear with me because I have not done an outro for the podcast in quite some time. So bear with me here. So if you liked what you heard, you can go to any of your favorite podcast apps. You can follow, make sure you don't miss a single episode. And you can also rate the podcast at either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. As a reminder, any 5-star ratings that are given to the podcast or any comments that are given to the podcast will be read on the podcast, which I have done in the past. If you want to connect with the podcast through social media, you can find me at Facebook and Instagram at Reality Tea ×2. You can also find me at Twitter, TikTok, and Blue Sky at Reality ×2 Pod. I believe you can email me at realitytea2@hotmail.com, and you can have any inquiries, anything like that, any ideas, any shows or episodes you want me to cover, you can definitely do that over there. And I am going back to our old website, and that is at solo.to/reality tea ×2. There you can get any of the links to anything that I didn't mention here, any of the socials, website, email, all of that. It's all there for you. And we also have a new thing there where you can help support the podcast as well. It's called a tip jar. And you can tip whatever your heart's desire if you want to support the podcast, but don't want to necessarily support the podcast in going to Patreon, for example, or any of the links in any of the advertisements. You can do it there. But since we're on the topic of Patreon, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality tea times two, where there you can get access to even more than what I do here. There are three different tiers where you can get these shows ad free, as well as our next tier up where you would get um, another reality show that's being covered. So, we have Jersey Shore that's been getting covered. That's still being covered currently at the time of recording of this outro, but the future is bright with what's to come in the future, which I will be discussing, or I have discussed. I don't even know. And then also our next tier is a true crime tier as well. So you can definitely head over for that. But that is basically it. I will also just quickly mention here too, if you're interested in a different take of a podcast that I'm a part of, we do things a little differently. You can head on over to Next Take Podcast, where I usually drop bonus episodes here on this feed, but there you get a lot more. And that podcast is making changes. We're growing, doing new things, but you can definitely head on over there if you want to just hear a little bit different than what I do over here. So you can find that podcast over at our website, solo.to/next take podcast. And there we'll have all the links to your desire that will link you to any of your favorite podcast apps or YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of it. Social medias, it's all over there. But of course, you can still find that podcast at any of your favorite podcast apps. But that is it for this episode. We'll see you next time with another episode. Bye, everybody.